Welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and finally, we have a quality Boeing 737 in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Today we're flying the iFly Boeing 737 MAX 8, and we're also going to determine later in this flight whether or not I'm going to finally say goodbye and delete Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I've said this before that I am only like a Boeing 737 away from deleting my old Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, whether that be the PMTG 737 series or the iFly MAX. We'll see. So we'll see at the end of this flight how smooth this goes, how good of an experience this is in 2024, and then I'll decide whether or not I'm going to delete the old Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 or keep it around. Okay, here we are in the flight deck of the iFly 737 MAX here in Seattle for our flight to Juneau, Alaska, about 2 hours long. So let's go ahead and get the aircraft started up. We'll go to our EFB first. We'll turn the power on, and then we'll go to initialize flight, and then we'll go over to menu, and we'll go to system page, sim menu, ground support, and then we'll go ahead and start off by connecting the electrical power and air conditioning. And now we'll go to the top. We'll see we have the light illuminated over the ground power. We'll hit the battery. There we go. Hit ground power. Nice. Fuel pump. So we'll get our IRS started on aligning. So we're going to go to nav and nav. Beautiful. Window heat's going to come on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we'll get our logo lights on. Our steady nav lights on. Boom. There we go. Emergency exit lights set to armed and covered. Seatbelt signs be set to auto, and we will go directly to the APU start. We're gonna waste no time today, so APU start, click and hold that, and that'll start up our APU. Alright, APU is on. We'll go ahead and pop on the APU gens 1 and 2. We'll also get the packs on, APU bleed on, and isolation valve is all on. So now we have air conditioning for our passenger. Boarding has started, and we have baggage being loaded onto the plane as we speak. I should mention that the WinWing autopilot panel and FMS is working with the iFly, which is pretty cool. So that's what I'll be using in today's flight. Alright, boarding is complete and the flight attendants are doing their final checks in the cabin. So we'll go ahead and put in our final numbers here. We have about 129 passengers on board today. As far as cargo, we have a total of 7,000 pounds of cargo. We have 5,000 in the front and 2,000 in the back. And as far as total fuel, we have 16,704 pounds. Expecting around 420 pounds during taxi and around 9,280 pounds for our entire trip. So we have plenty of extra fuel. And then we can double check our fuel here. It's showing 8.3 on the left and the right, and 16.7 is total fuel on board.
Arriving runway 16 right. Departing runways 16 left, 16 center. Advise on initial contact, you have information Papa.
Alright, we have information
Seattle Tacoma
Papa.
International Airport.
Okay, we're almost ready to go. Let's get our IFR clearance from Seattle to Juneau. Tacoma clearance, Alaska 116 IFR to Juneau.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
Alright, cool. By the way, we are using Say Intentions AI ATC for this flight.
Alaska 116, Seattle clearance, cleared to Juneau via the Banger 9er departure. Then as filed, climb and maintain 6,000. Expect flight level 38010 minutes after departure. Departure on 119.2 squawk 5523. Expect runway 16 left.
Alright, clear to Juneau via the Banger 9 departure, then it's filed. Climb and maintain 6,000. Expect flight level 38010 minutes after departure. Departure's on 119.2 squawk 5523, and we'll expect runway 16 left, Alaska 116. Thank you. We got exactly what we were asking for.
Alaska 116, read back, correct ground will be on 121.7.
Alright, sounds good.
Alaska 116, Seattle ground, push and start approved, tail south.
Push and start approved, tail south, Alaska 116.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 71, departing from Seattle to Juneau. We are thrilled to have you with us today. I would like to introduce our captain, Blue, and our first officer, Brian, alongside me.
Correct.
In the event of a loss of
Clear to start engines.
Alright, we've been cleared to start engines, so let's do that, starting with engine number 2. We'll get our packs turned off on the left and on the right. Isolation valve is on, APU bleed is on, fuel pumps are all on, and starting 2, clear on 2. We are waiting for that motoring to complete. There it is, you see it climbing up. Introduce fuel on engine 2. Oh yeah, and we have a good start on engine 2, starting up engine 1. And we'll do a flight control check. Aileron left, center, aileron right, center, pitch down or forward, and pitch up or backwards. We are using the Thrustmaster TCA Boeing yoke today for today's.
Alaska 116, taxi to runway 16 left via Whiskey Bravo Charlie. Contact tower on 119.9 when ready for departure.
Alright, taxi 16 left via Whiskey Bravo Charlie. We'll contact tower 119.9 when ready for departure, Alaska 116. Alright, there's our taxi clearance. Let's go.
Spirit Wing 261 ready for pushback.
Alright, there's runway 16 left. And there's an aircraft landing over there on 16 right. We'll hold here and we'll contact tower for departure. Oh yeah, I am so ready for this. Seattle Tower, Alaska 116, holding short 16 left at Charlie, ready for departure.
Alaska 116, Seattle Tower, runway 16 left, winds 225 at 11, RNAV Kebab, cleared for takeoff.
RNAV Kebab, clear for takeoff, 16 left, Alaska 116. Alright, lights on. Alright, continuous left and right, brakes release, flight attendant seat takeoff. Let's go. Final is clear. Runway is clear. nice lineup right there. And Toga. Airspeed's alive. Center line. V1. Rotate. Oh yeah, she feels good. Positive rate gear up. It feels good. Oh yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Over to departure, Alaska 116. Alright, switch to departure. 19.2. Yeah, plane feels great. Feels really good in 2024. We'll get the autopilot on, command A, and check in with departure. Departure, Alaska 116, passing 3,000, climbing via SID.
Seattle departure, radar contact, climb line.
Alright, we're passing 10,000 feet now. We'll go ahead and turn off the landing lights. Runway turn off lights and all that.
And I am pleased to inform you that the use of electronic devices is now allowed. Please ensure that your devices are set to airplane mode. Thank you for your cooperation and enjoy the flight.
Alright, we're looking good. Climbing out, passing 12,000, 13,000 feet now. LNAV is working perfectly. VNAV is working perfectly. Auto throttle's on. And we're climbing up to 38,000 feet. And now for the beautiful climb over the mountains. Let's go.
Seattle Center, Mirage
1. We will now begin our snack and drink service. Enjoy our complimentary Northwest snack mix. Or if you're feeling a bit more peckish, we have our picnic packs and fresh sandwiches available for purchase.
We are now cruising at flight level 380, 38,000 feet above the earth here, flying over Canada, over British Columbia, over the mountains out here, which look gorgeous. And this departure really just reminds me of why I love flight sim, why I love this hobby. It's all about kind of flying to places, going places, traveling to places that you've never been before. Maybe you've been there before and kind of reliving that moment, flying planes that you've never flown before, or maybe you have flown before. Again, reliving those moments. It's just, I really love flight sim, and I'm super happy to have the iFly 737 MAX finally joining us in Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. Yes, we have the default 737 MAX, but it's just not the same. it's really not. It's not the same quality. It's a whole different experience, and happy to have this plane back. And as far as deleting Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 now, I am still a little bit on the fence. I'm gonna let this flight play out. We'll see how the landing goes and everything like that. But this departure was definitely pretty convincing for me. There's nothing there. There's nothing left on 2020 for me. Like, there's nothing there for me. There's a few add-ons that I'm definitely gonna miss, like SimFX and Chase Plane. That's really it. I mean, the only aircraft that I still would fly in 2020 that I don't have in 24 yet is the PMDG 737. But now that I have the 737 MAX, which is the modern version, right, of the 737, I don't really feel the need to go back and fly PMDG anymore. And all the other planes that I really enjoy have finally crossed over and are now compatible with 2024. We have the Phoenix A320, right? We have even the FS Labs is now compatible with Microsoft 2024. We have the 777-200ER, the Freighter. We have I9 Build's A350. There's so many great planes that are available to fly on 2024. Now, we are still missing a few aircraft, right? You know, there's a few planes we're still missing, but they're not anything major that I feel like I'm gonna miss out on. Like, I can wait a few more months for some of those other aircraft to become compatible. Even some of my GA planes are now compatible that I love flying. My business jets, we're getting a lot of great business jets as well over on 2024, and I really enjoy doing that. So there's really nothing left in 2020, nothing left for me to keep the game installed. We'll see though. I mean, I know I said I was gonna delete it if I enjoy this flight, if everything goes well, but I'm kind of falling back on my word here, and we'll see. Let's see how the flight plays out. Make sure there's no crashes, no awesome issues, no performance problems. You know, scenery doesn't load in like crappy, anything like that, and we'll play by ear. But I'll let you guys know. I'll update you at the end of the video on whether or not I'm gonna delete Microsoft 2020, because right now I'm all sold out for 2024. Matter of fact, I've actually not even played or opened 2020 in the last 2 to 3 months. It's been a while already, so I've kind of already moved on. I just haven't, you know, completely cut ties with it. Yeah, but anyways, hour and a half out from Juneau, Alaska. As you can see, it's pretty cloudy, so sadly we're not going to see a whole lot of the mountains, but it might clear up as we get a little bit closer. So I will see you there. Ladies and gentlemen from the flight, this is your captain speaking. As you can see, we have now began our descent down into Juneau, Alaska, and we'll be on the ground in about 10 minutes. We're going to ask you to take your seats as soon as you can. We'll be turning on the fasten seatbelt sign. There you go. Flight attendants, please go about the cabin and pick up the last trash. We'll be landing shortly. Okay, we are just above 10,000 feet. I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the landing lights on now. We'll kind of get configured and ready early. It's not necessarily a straightforward approach into Juneau. I've been here many times. It's pretty fun to land here, but also fairly challenging if you don't know what you're doing. You can see here we're coming in from the south. It's basically going to be a hard right turn and then straight in from there. We are doing the LDA approach today for runway 8. Which is basically going to have us flying over the Elephant VOR, which is right around here, and then making a right-hand turn for final. The LDA approach is basically an ILS in a way, except it doesn't line you up perfectly for the runway. It actually kind of lines you offset to like the right or the left, or at an angle. So it's basically going to get you close enough to the field, but then at the last, few miles, you're going to have to, maneuver to actually fly that last few miles manually by visual reference. So that's what the LDA approach is going to be doing for us. But we're, somewhere beneath all these clouds is a beautiful airport, a beautiful area called Juneau, Alaska. If you've never been there before, I definitely recommend you fly out here. Great for airliner flying, GA flying, and helicopter flying. That's Papa, Alpha, Juliet, November. But there's 10,000 feet right there. Flight attendants are finishing up down there. We do have some mountains to worry about, so hopefully we get underneath these clouds and get a good visual of it. Otherwise, I am going to have my terrain radar helping us out the most that it can.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are preparing for our arrival into Juneau. Please ensure that your seatbelts are securely fastened and your seat backs are in the upright position. We will be coming around to collect any remaining service items. Thank you for your cooperation.
Look at this. Wow, it's gorgeous out here. Look to the left and look to the right. Our airport is somewhere in that general direction. Alright, here we go. There's our airport right there. As you can see, the ILS does not perfectly align us on the center line, but kind of offset to the right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the aircraft from here. We'll go autopilot disconnect there, and we'll fly by hand the rest of the way. Get a little bit more flaps in, and I'll take over the speed myself. There we go. Through the cautions, my aircraft, my throttles, gears coming down. Auto brakes are going to be set to 3. And we'll use a trim. Alright, we are a little high. Do some speed brakes here. So again, airport is right there. You can see we're coming at an angle. So the major obstruction is going to be this hill right here on the left, which is the reason why the ILS does not go straight in. So what I'm going to try to do is get, as close as possible to this hill, obviously without hitting it. And then we'll just arc our way right in there for runway 8, and hopefully we can settle it down on the center line. Alright, more flaps. And we're using flaps 30 for landing today. Landing lights are on, engines are continuous. We are landing. Alright, let's pull up here a bit. Now we do have the PAPI lights that do help us from this direction, which is pretty cool. So we got the 2 white, 2 red, or the might be single white, single red. Either way, it's telling us we're right on glide. Now we're too low. So let's go ahead and gas some power, 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 power.
1,000.
Power, power, power. Not too much though, don't want to balloon too badly. There it is now, I got the white and the red lights. Let's manage our approach speed here. Flaps are set. We'll go ahead and get the speed brakes and arm them. Alright, speed brakes are now in arm position. And we kind of ballooned there, so let's see if we can save it. We're a little high now. Runway is not extremely long, so we don't want to float too much, but
1,000.
and point that nose down. We're gonna arc it in.
Juneau Tower, Alaska 65, RNAV 08.
Alaska 65, Juneau Tower, winds calm, runway 8 cleared to land.
As we got traffic coming
Clear
in.
to land, runway 8, Alaska 65.
500.
Alright, not too bad. Let's go ahead and start the turn. Alright, we're on slope now. Alright, here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Probably could have arced a little late, but I think we're okay. Speed is alright. More power. Still on the white and the red.
Caution, obstacle. 100.
Alright, let it fade to the left here. Aim for the touchdown markers.
30.
And
20,
flare.
10.
Oh, what are you talking about? And here comes the reversers, which I don't think I have mapped, but that is okay. We got auto brake 3, and if we need to, we'll use manual braking as well, but I think we're good. Touchdown right where we wanted to. Welcome to Juneau, Alaska. Applying manual braking now to help us get stopped. It's gonna get the brakes nice and hot, and we'll let it roll out to the end. But don't take too long, we have traffic inbound behind us. Nice. Yeah, I gotta map my my reversers because that didn't work that time, but that was cool. I have not done that approach in a long time. Matter of fact, I think the last time I did it, I smashed it. So Super happy to get that landing in there like that. Pretty sweet. All right,
Alaska
to the left.
116, welcome to Juneau, contact ground on 121.9er.
Over the ground, 121.9er, Alaska 116. All right, there it is, the end of the runway. Surrounded by the mountains. Actually surprised to get some snow cover here. It's actually not that cold. I think temperature's only 13 degrees Celsius. But I guess we got some snow recently. There we are. We are now clear of the runway. Flaps.
Services on Motherboard.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
All aircraft information Tango is now current, altimeter 3005.
Okay, so is it time to delete Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020? Ah, man, this is tough. I've been on the fence, and I haven't played 2020 in months, so it makes no sense for me to honestly keep it and use up all the space. And I'm really enjoying 2024. I mean, for the most part, haven't had really any issues. This flight, I had a few micro stutters, but I think that actually might be due to the iFly 737 MAX. I have not had the issue with any other plane. Plus, that aircraft is still technically in early access, alpha, beta, whatever. But my experience in 2024 overall has usually been very nice and smooth. But I just can't let go of 2020 yet. There's nothing for me to fly out there, but I just can't let go. I see it as like a backup sim, like just in case, 2024 something happens to that sim, because 2024, even though it's been stable, it still can be unpredictable. I've seen a lot of people have issues where it gets uninstalled or they lose all their settings or whatever, and so having 2020 as like a backup for a little while as a kind of a safe gate, I think that's what's gonna be for me for a little bit. But I'm telling you what, any day now, I may still decide, wake up in the morning and be like, you know what, that's it, I'm done. I'll see you later. I got X-Plane as a backup too, so I don't necessarily need two backups, really. So let me know, what do you think? Is it time for you to switch to 2024? Have you already switched to 2024 and deleted 2020? I know a few of you have. Let me know in the comments what you think. For right now, I'm having a hard time letting it go. But until next time, remember, you have three choices: give up, give in, or give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time. Next video. I'm out. Enjoy.
Hay 7 demonios tratando de controlarme. No me quiero ir al infierno, pero ellos quieren llevarme. Hey, look. Hay 7 demonios